Hello everyone, it's me, Clayson. I just finished watching Echo, starring Aloka Cox, Vincent D'Onofrio, Graham Greene, Tattoo Cardinal, and Devery Jacobs. Now, Echo, if you don't remember, was a side character from the Hawkeye series, who in the comics is apparently quite close to the Kingpin, Wilson Fisk. Apparently, she's kind of like a daughter to him, even though she's basically his niece in this series. So, after the events of Hawkeye, this series takes place as Echo tries to reconnect to her hometown in Oklahoma, and as she tries to destroy Wilson Fisk's operations so that she can take over his criminal enterprise. But she also needs to learn to let go of the anger and pain she's felt ever since she lost her mother at an early age, and ever since she's been used by the Kingpin as a mercenary of sorts against the other criminal gangs in New York, especially since she's helped him out, even apparently into the Netflix series behind the scenes, because the Netflix series are canon now, and it allows Charlie Cox to return as Daredevil for one fight scene. That's all I'll say about the story, though. The story was originally supposed to be 8 episodes long, but it was ultimately cut down to 5 and reworked significantly after Kevin Feige considered the original series unreleasable. And after seeing it, I don't know if that would be the case, considering that it does feel like there's a lot of pacing issues with the 5 episode length. The series definitely tries to get us to care about both Maya and her family, some of which who are portrayed by some genuinely great actors like Devery Jacobs, Tattoo Cardinal, and Graham Greene. But a lot of them are given very little time to develop as characters, and it feels like their scenes fly by a bit too fast in order for us to really get to know them. But every time there's a dialogue scene that really doesn't seem to get to me, there is a fight scene that happens to let us know that this is supposed to be connected to the Marvel Netflix shows, especially since this is the first Marvel show that's rated TVMA, therefore it allows blood and swearing and such. And that does allow some more brutality to the fight scenes, especially a cool one in the 3rd episode in a skating rink, and a one tank fighting scene at the start of the series that also includes a run-in with Daredevil. The action is generally one of the better parts of the series, and it genuinely hits harder and feels a lot more intimate than a lot of the other Marvel shows and movies that we've gotten in recent years. But like I said, the pacing issues are still present, and the finale is generally where the series shows most of its problems. Not only does it explain a superpower that Echo has that feels like it makes her significantly overpowered at key moments, but it also happens to try to resolve a lot of her emotional issues that the series didn't really try to resolve throughout most of its run, and it feels like it doesn't allow certain things to happen just so Kingpin can reappear for Daredevil and Spider-Man. Despite Kevin Feige claiming that this series can be watched without seeing some of the other Marvel shows and movies, it feels like it's still a bit of homework to get into other material. So it feels like it's a series of two halves. Half of it is an action series that works pretty well, especially for a protagonist who's deaf and has to rely on sign language a lot of the time. But half of it also feels like homework for other Marvel movies or shows in a series that already has far too much homework for the Phase 5 section of it. I do appreciate learning a bit about the Choctaw tribe, and I do appreciate the acting we get from the characters that we meet inside of the Oklahoma parts of the show, but it does feel like the priorities weren't all there for this one, and therefore it suffers from pacing issues as well as some storytelling beats that I don't agree with. I genuinely think it's better than Secret Invasion and She-Hulk, but it's not up there with Marvel's Daredevil, Luke Cage, or Jessica Jones. It's not as bad as some people said it was going to be, but it's not going to change anyone's opinion regarding the MCU's current direction. So I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. See you next time.